butterflies and flowers. We've made reusable sacks with nature and give back to the earth. And today we're doing that again. So we're doing something called nature painting, which means we're going to use things that I found in my backyard to create paintbrushes, our very own paintbrushes. Raise your hand if you like to paint. I love to paint too. It's so fun. And what's fun about this is we're doing something that I like to call abstract painting. Now, because we're using things that aren't small and precise like a paintbrush, we're using leaves, we're using feathers. That means that what we're going to be painting is going to be abstract or not defined. It might just be big, beautiful colors all together that make up fun colors and fun lines and shapes. It doesn't have to look like a house or a person or a flower. It can just be fun to create with different colors and shapes and textures. So if you're joining me today, go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'd love to know who's joining me. I really wanted to make this a project that you could hopefully use things that you already had in your house. So let's see what we have here. I have some paint. These are acrylic paints, but you could really use any kind of paint you like. You could use watercolors, you could use oil-based paints, you could use washable paints, whatever kind of paints you have at your house, and whatever colors you liked. I picked a palette of 6 colors. I picked blue, green, yellow, purple, red, and pink. I just thought that that was a pretty mix of colors for me to use. So I have paint. I have a work surface to work on. I didn't want to work on my cart because I didn't want to get the wood dirty. So I can get this box dirty, and that's okay. I have some paper towels to clean my hands. And then what I needed to gather from outside were sticks, just some small sticks. So I have some long ones, some short ones, some fat ones. They can be any size you like. And then I also gathered up some pieces of nature from outside. So these are just different types of leaves. This one has little small round leaves with little buds, flowers on the ends. I found a feather. I got an evergreen sprig. I'm excited to see what kind of pattern that will make. I got another, this was on a bush in the backyard, and it's just the little buds that are about to turn into flowers, and I'm hoping they make a really fun kind of dot texture. And then the last thing I need are either rubber bands or hair ties. Okay, so once you have gathered your pieces of nature from outside, sticks and leaves and feathers and whatnot, and your paint, you can start putting together your paintbrushes. Hi, Miss Lisa, I'm so glad you're joining me. Let me know if you're joining by posting in the comments. We're doing nature painting. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is pick a stick that I like. I really like this one. It feels good to hold in my hand. It's a nice length. So I picked this stick. And the next thing I'm going to do is wrap my rubber band or my hair tie around it. Hi Donna and Caroline and Claudia and Gracie. I hope you guys are joining me for nature painting. I know how much you love arts and crafts. Right now we're making paintbrushes with things I found in my backyard. Hi Miss Ashley. Okay, so I'm going to take my stick and I'm going to wrap my rubber band or my hairband around it until it is nice and tight. So that took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if I can get one more. I think 5 is good. So I wrapped it around 5 times. Hi Kat and Kellen and Lena, we're doing nature painting. So gather up your sticks and leaves and we're gonna do some painting. Okay, so now I need to decide which type of nature I want for my brush. So I'm gonna try this, these buds. They're little round buds. I'm gonna take a little tiny piece right here. And since this is already wrapped around, I'm just going to stick it in there so my paintbrush holds it nice and tight. And now look, I've got my own paintbrush. Isn't that fun? It's a nice size, like a pencil. It's got some brushes on the end. Okay, so that's paintbrush number one. I'm gonna make a couple of different paintbrushes, and then we're gonna test the different types of textures that they make. Okay, the next one, got another good stick here. This one's another big one. Okay, so I take my stick again, going to wrap my hair tie around 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think 4 was good for this one because it's a really big stick. My cat is going crazy in there. Okay, so I think on this one I'm gonna do my evergreen sprigs. Oops. I'm gonna put my evergreen sprigs on here. I'm so sorry. Working from home, you just have to, you're at the mercy of your animals, I guess. Okay, I'm gonna put my evergreen sprigs on the end of my stick. So I stripped the sprigs off of the bottom, and now I'm going to stick it through here. Okay, so now I've got 2 paintbrushes. I've got one with like long, sort of flowy evergreen sprigs, and then I've got one that might make a fun, cool pattern. Now remember, at the beginning of the video, I talked about what we're gonna be doing is abstract painting. I don't want you to get frustrated because you're trying to paint something specific and it doesn't look like it. Right now, all we're focusing on is different textures and shapes and colors to make something bright and fun. It doesn't have to look like something specific. Okay, so I'm gonna make one more, I think. I'm gonna take my bigger stick that I had here and I'm gonna break it off. Now I have a bit of a smaller stick. I'm gonna wrap my hair tie around it until it is nice and tight. I'm probably gonna have to wrap it quite a few more times because the stick is not as thick. So parents at home, this is a really great activity to work on kids' fine motor skills. It's also a really good activity if you, especially if you have little ones, 2, 3, 4, 5 years old. This is a really great sensory activity. They're gonna get their hands dirty, and that's okay. They're learning what different textures feel like. They're learning how to experiment with their hands. So this is it's a really easy thing to do with really all different ages. Okay, so the next one I'm gonna do, I think, is this one. So this one kind of has a combination of leaves and buds. So I'm gonna pick 3, well, actually I'm just gonna do 1. I'm gonna do 1 of these, and I'm going to loop it through my hair ties. Ooh, okay, so now I have 3 different paint brushes. 1, 2, 3. And they all look different, and they're all going to make different types of shapes and textures. Now, this is a messy project, and it's okay to get messy. It's fun to get messy. Just make sure that you have a surface to work on, that it's okay if it gets dirty, and also that you have clothes on that are okay to get dirty. Okay, so let's get started. Move my nature over. Okay, so the nice fun thing about this is that you can use any type of paper that you like to draw on. So I got a paper plate, and I also got a piece of computer paper. You could use notebook paper, you could use butcher paper, you could use construction paper, any type of paper that you have at your house. So the first one that I'm going to make, I'm going to do on my paper plate. So I've got my 3 paint brushes, I've got my paint here. Now let's think to ourselves, normally when we paint, we use a color and then we wash it off in the water, right? Can you do that with this? No, so we have to pick a color that we want to use, and then that's the one we're going to use with that paintbrush. If you want, you could probably switch it out if you have another piece just like it, and that would be okay. But it will be a little bit difficult to to keep it clean in between colors if you're using the same brush. If that doesn't bother you, then just go for it. Okay, so the first thing I'm gonna do is, I think I'm going to try to make an abstract type of rainbow. So the first color I'm gonna start with is red. I'm going to dip my buds in the red paint. So I dipped the buds in the red paint. Now I'm going to take my plate and I'm going to make some marks on it. How fun is that? It looks like little polka dots. That is so fun. Okay, the next one I think I'm going to use is this leaf with the smaller little buds on it. I think this one might smear together a little bit more. Let's see what's going to happen. I'm going to use the yellow. So I'm dipping the leaf and the buds in the yellow. And then I'm going to swirl it across. Ooh. I also used it to rub in the red a little bit, which turned some of it a little bit orange. Okay, so I did my yellow and my red. Now I think I'm going to use my evergreen sprigs to do green. Now this is looking a little bit big, so I think I'm going to take some of my sprigs off so I have a little bit more control over what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm going to dip the sprigs in the green. Oh, yes, Caroline said that she went outside and got some of her dad's wheat. Her dad is a farmer, and so she picked up a little bit of his wheat out of his field and used that to do at the end of the brush. I bet that makes a really cool pattern. I'm anxious to see it. Okay, so I've dipped my sprig. I kind of smooshed it off a little bit. That's a very technical term. And now I'm going to use it to paint a little bit on the inside. Ooh. So now I've got a fun mixture of red, yellow, and green. I just kind of made a little half circle rainbow. That's right. Claudia said that red, yellow, and blue are primary colors, which means they cannot be made from other colors. But you can mix red, yellow, and blue to make other colors. And we have some of those colors on our plate. If you mix blue and green, you can make blue and yellow. I'm sorry. If you mix blue and yellow, you can make green. And if you mix blue and red, you can make purple. And then you just make pink by adding a little bit of white paint to your red by lightening it up. So that's right. If you only have a couple of colors, you can experiment with ways to mix them together to create new colors. In fact, we can do that right here. We can do that with our paintbrushes. So I'm going to experiment with mixing some of these colors. So here's some blue. I got some blue. And I got some yellow, and I'm going to mix them up. It's quite a dark green. See if I do a little bit more yellow. There you go. See, we've made green. Now, if I mix, I'm going to use the other side of this. If I mix the blue and the purple, I'm sorry, I meant to mix the blue. I am messing up. If I mix the blue and the red, that can make purple. It's a really dark purple, probably a little bit too much red. it made a really deep colored purple. Okay, so you can experiment with mixing colors together to create new colors. So I did my first one. I really love it. I love the way that the balls made the different polka dots, and this one made kind of a light one. And then the evergreen sprigs made a fun, like straight lines with spray. Here we go. Okay, so the next one, I'm gonna make another one on computer paper. Okay, so the way I'm going to do this is switch out my brushes. So I'm going to take that off. I'm going to take my evergreen sprig off. And I'm going to take this sprig off. Now let's pick some new ones from our selection. Okay, we haven't painted with the feather. That will be fun. I put the feather on the small stick. So I'm just putting it between the stick and the rubber band or the hair tie. Okay, the next one, I'm gonna try this one. We didn't try this one. Pluck off the end. And I'm gonna pull the leaves off of the end so that I can stick them into the brush. So you can change out your brushes, your brush heads between colors super easily. And I think I'm going to do the polka dots again because I thought that was really fun. Okay, so I've got 3 new paintbrushes to experiment with 3 new colors. And again, you can mix your colors, you can separate your colors, whatever you want to do. Interested to see how this feather goes. I'm going to pull some of the feather leaves apart, or the pieces of the feather, to make it a little bit more open and maybe make a fun design. Okay, there we go. I think I'm going to use pink with this one. So I'm just going to dab it in the pink paint. Then I'm going to lay it rather than smear it. See what kind of pattern it makes. Okay, so I'm laying it down on the paper like this. Yeah, it's like stamping it down. That's right. So I stamped my feather down and made some fun pink marks. Hank is very interested in what we're doing over here. He's sniffing these sticks. He doesn't really play with sticks, but. Okay, my cat was actually helping me earlier with the sticks. The cats are very interested when we bring anything into the house. Okay, so I made some fun stamps with the feather paper, with the feather on my paper. And now I'm going to make polka dots again. So I'm going to use my purple color. And remember, again, we talked about this being more abstract, more about mixing colors and shapes and making something fun rather than worrying about making something that you can tell what it is. Okay, so again, I'm going to do more of a stamping motion with this one. So I'm just going to lay it on the paper. You might have to push it down with your finger. Okay, so now I've got some purple polka dots on there that I made by stamping my buds. Okay, now I've got one more, and I think I'm gonna do more of a swiping motion with this so I can get a little bit more color on my paper. I think I'm gonna use yellow. Now there's a little bit of blue that got mixed into my yellow, but I think that's just fine. We're just mixing colors and making abstract art and experimenting. So again, you could do this like a stamp. We could try it like a stamp once and then we can smear it. So I would separate out the leaves and then lay it flat on my paper and stamp it down and pull it right back up. So it made more of a stamp, but this time I'm just going to smear it. Okay, so again, it's abstract art. It's got purple and green and yellow and pink, and it's just fun. You can use it to make birthday cards, you can put it on your refrigerator, you can poke holes in it and hang it in your room, whatever you want to do. And there are just a ton of fun ways to do this. There are infinite numbers of shapes and textures in nature that you can experiment with. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. I had so much fun nature painting with you guys. I hope that you have fun with this activity and that you get a little bit messy. So I'll see you on Tuesday. We have a long weekend. I hope you have fun, and I'll see you on Tuesday for story time. Bye.